Back to the 67 IH Farmer YouTube channel. My name's Anthony, and today I will be sharing with you some tips and advice to prepare you and your tractor for a successful and trouble-free winter. I will leave links in the description below of all the tools discussed today that will help you get your tractor chores done without a fuss. Now, you don't want to get caught with your pants down when you want to get out there, get your work done, and get back inside where it's warm. So you can check your battery. My battery is located right underneath my loader connector bar. You're going to want to keep your eyes on it. Quite often there'll be a little round sticker on your battery telling you the month and the year of when the battery was manufactured. Now typically batteries last between 4 to 6 years if they have not been left outside without a charge. If you can't locate that little sticker on the battery, another good indicator is if your battery is covered in dirt, grease, other grime like that, or if the stickers are faded or missing, it's probably due for replacement. You should always plan time to maintenance your tractor, or it will do it for you in the most inconvenient time to do so. Now, a cheap insurance policy to have is a battery maintainer. You can pick one of these up at Harbor Freight or Amazon or eBay for around $10 to $15, and they will help ensure your tractor's battery is topped off and ready to start even in the coldest of temperatures. Now, oftentimes, older oil, I just changed this oil you saw in my last video, just in preparation for winter here, but oftentimes older oil is much thicker, and it builds up sludge and everything, making it more difficult to start your tractor in the cold temperatures. Now you can schedule your oil change just before the colder temperatures, which gives you the full advantage of being able to manipulate the weights of your oil in your favor. If you have an oldage vintage tractor like I do with this Case 430 from about 1968, you can likely look in your owner's manual and they'll specify to use like a 30 weight non-detergent oil. But with today's oil technology, you can get away with using a 15W40 engine oil. And as you saw in this video, since I am approaching wintertime, I topped it off with a little bit of 5W40. Now the first digit, that is going to be the winter weight. That's what your oil flows like when it's cold temperatures, when it's not up to operating temperature. Now the second number, so in a 15W40, that is a 40 weight oil when the engine is up to operating temperature. So typically on your old tractors like this, they'll specify to use SAE 30 non-detergent oil. So that's a 30 weight oil, and it's very thick at startup, and it thins out to a 30 weight at engine operating temperatures. So a 15W40 is going to have a 15 weight characteristics at cold temperatures, probably right around 30, 32 degrees there. I think that's when they actually specify it. You can look it up yourself and get a better reference than I have just off the top of my head. But that 15 weight is going to flow like a 15 weight oil in cold temperatures, but it's going to flow like a 40 weight once the oil gets up to operating temperature. Another thing to look for just before winter in preparation to keep your tractor in tip-top shape for the cold conditions coming up is to check your fuel filters. If they haven't been changed in a while, if they look really dirty and dingy, it's probably time to replace them. So changing these filters now may save you a ton of frustration later in the colder temperatures. So typically diesel fuel gels up and will plug up a filter, and if the filter is already pretty close to being plugged, it's going to plug up that much faster. But since we're talking about fuel filters here, we should also discuss your fuel itself. So wintertime, usually around September, October in this area here, they sell winter blend diesel fuel at the pumps. You can get a summer blend throughout the rest of the year. That's typically from April all the way up till that September, October mark. And that is your standard number 2 diesel fuel, which gels right around 15 degrees. Is usually the cloud point is about 15 degrees. You can look it up, see what it actually is. But off the top of my head, I've been in scenarios where the diesel fuel has clouded up right around 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So winter blend diesel has different additives in it to help prevent the diesel from gelling. Now you can save yourself from some frustration by topping off your fuel tank with what you know is winter blend diesel, and even for a little bit better safeguard than that, you can get yourself some diesel additive like this. I prefer House because not only does it help protect against the cold temperatures, but it also has other things in it that help the tractor and the injection pump and the injectors. Another thing with a fuel treatment like this, it helps remove water out of your fuel system, and in these cold temperatures, you're probably going to get some condensation inside your tank, resulting in water getting into your fuel system. You can go on the bottom of your fuel filter. There's typically a bleed screw on the bottom of your fuel filter there. You can drain the water out of it before you go start it, but this prevents it from happening altogether. Now, if you work your tractor hard, you might notice a slight increase in fuel consumption if you have winter blend diesel. So not only do you have excessive idle times, like you want to let your tractor warm up, and you're going to want to let your tractor cool down after you've worked it. So you're going to have that excessive amount of engine run time just because of winter time. But winter blend diesel also does not have the same amount of BTU value per gallon as summer blend diesel fuel, which is just standard number 2 diesel fuel. So you're going to have a about 3 to 5% decrease in fuel economy in a tractor sense. It's not miles per gallon. The tractor doesn't go down, doesn't have an odometer, but you might see an uptick in fuel consumption. One more thing to note with this fuel additive, it's relatively inexpensive. So I get a big bottle like this, sometimes 2, and that's enough to treat my tractor for the entire winter and both of my diesel pickup trucks. So this will treat about 320 gallons of diesel fuel for winter anti-gelling. Just mix in a couple ounces. It says on the back and how much you're actually going to need. So 1 ounce treats 5 gallons. So there you go. This is like a 64 ounce jug. It's like half gallon jug. So 1 ounce will cover 5 gallons of diesel fuel. Another critical component to helping you not have to sit there and just crank and crank and crank on your tractor all winter long is a block heater. I don't know if you can see in here. I'll bring it in a little bit closer here, but having a block heater is going to help you start your tractor up. It's going to warm that water jacket up on your tractor. If you don't already have a block heater that you know of, search around the side of the engine. There should be a male end of an extension cord hanging out somewhere in your tractor. This one's an aftermarket system, so you can put these inside a freeze plug, and then your block heater goes through into the water jacket, but then you also have the added benefit of being able to plug your tractor in and warm the engine up through the water jacket. Now, there are other ways you can also preheat your engine. There is oil pan warmers. They're like a magnetic pad that you can put on the bottom side of your oil pan. There's also ones that you can put magnetically on the side of your engine block to warm up that water jacket as well. It's a little chilly out. My hands are starting to get cold. I've been outside for a little over an hour now, but make sure you have one of them. It's going to save you so much time. And while you're also plugging in your tractor, you can plug in that same exact battery maintainer into that same extension cord you dragged out to your tractor. So right here is the extension cord for my block heater. So this just goes inside one of the freeze port holes on my block. I just plug this into your standard outlet, bring an extension cord out, plug it in, and then I know that the tractor is going to start. And in the same extension cord I bring out to it, I have a little splitter, which I also run a wire up to my battery to charge the battery up. So if you look inside here, this is my battery box. I actually just purchased this battery. Every time I buy a new battery, I write the purchase date on the battery itself. So I bought this November 14th of 2023, so about a month ago. But this is that little circle I was telling you about. This is when the battery was manufactured. This is manufactured of August of 2023. So this battery is pretty new. So I should be able to get about 4 to 6 years out of this. I went for the biggest battery I could fit inside this battery box. When you're looking for a battery, you're going to want to look for this number here, which is your cold cranking amps. Having a higher cold cranking amps is going to be beneficial to starting your tractor in those cold temperatures. Well guys, I think that puts a wrap on this. Like I said before, I will be putting a couple links in the description below of all the little tools and accessories and stuff to help you get through the winter without having too much fuss. You can click on the description below and I'll have those links posted. But as always, thanks for watching. If you get anything out of this video, please hit that thumbs up button, make a comment, something. I'd like to hear your feedback. If you have any other suggestions how to prepare your tractor for wintertime, let us know. You help out all the other viewers, all the other people that are actually trying to learn something from this. So any advice is greatly appreciated, and I will catch you on the next one.